And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 2 of season 3 of the 2S Assetto Corsa VRC Indycar League. My name is Grand. Joining me alongside in the commentary booth is John. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting race. Kyalami is a very sweet and flowing track. It reminds me a lot of Interlagos, some parts of it. So I'm really excited. The sun's out, and we should have a pretty good race on our hands.
Yeah, this circuit, obviously a very, very flowing circuit. As you said, very reminiscent of Interlagos. And now that we are on the topic of this circuit, let's go through some of the track details. So, the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit broke ground in 1961, hosted F1 through 1967, 1985, and 1992 and 93 as well. We usually see the Kyalami 9 Hours and the Intercontinental GT Challenge here as well. The circuit located in Johannesburg, South Africa, 4.5 kilometers and 16 turns of this beautiful flowing circuit. But yeah, quite a lot of overtaking opportunities. I guess turn 1, or technically turn 2, but I'll just call it turn 1. The first heavy braking zone would be the best to overtake, and then the last corner is where you want to maximize your exit as well onto the start-finish straight. But yeah, it's got a lot of great corners, this circuit, and I am looking a lot forward to this qualifying and race. We have 12 minutes in the session at the moment remaining, so if you could just get the times in, if we could get that up on screen. And yeah, we have no time set at the moment, so everyone is just on their outlaps. Here is David Grundström, you can see in the red and white liveried car, currently driving around. So everyone is just setting their lap times at the moment. But John, how are your thoughts and feelings going forward to this qualifying? How do you think everything's going to play out? And yeah, just your general opinions and reflections.
Yeah, so definitely this track there's really one big main straight, and the turns are very flowing, and you have a mix of high speed. You have one very low speed, turn 16, the last one, Ingwe, and then you have a few medium speeds as well. So I think something we're going to be looking at intensely during this race is the tires. The tire situation is definitely going to be uh, dependent on how the driver drives the cars in this track, because depending on the lines you take, how much you push, it's not going to be like everyone's getting horrible degradation or everyone's taking it easy. We have we have two main tires, or we have two tires. We have the red alternates, which are really quality tires or short stint tires because they're the quickest tire. They have the rapid tire degradation, and they're very preferable for the drivers when doing short stints or during quali. And then you have the black primaries, and they're the slower tire. You can think of them as the Formula One, their comparison between the hards, and they have a very long tire life span, and they're used for longer stints. So it's only really used if the top 8 or the top 10 drivers during quali, if they want to maybe start on the hards, because for the top 10 drivers, you will start the race on the compound that you have qualified. So for most of them, it will be the alternates, most if not all, because that's the faster tire. But yeah, this track is going to lend itself really well to see some very interesting strategy, and also just I think some very raw racing. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it myself better, John. Yeah, this circuit is we're going to see a lot of varying strategies on this circuit, I think. But yeah, with 10 minutes remaining and qualifying, I think people have started setting times now. So if we could just see who is on top, and it looks to be it is a bit blurry. I think it is yeah, Brown, Timo Brown is on provisional pole at the moment, and it's Levi Janto in second, and Christian Stricker in third at the moment. But that's only 10 cars out of what I believe is 17 running today. As oh, there's a bit of an off for Stricker, but I think he's going back to the pit lane, so that's why. And yeah, Levi Janto's actually up on his time, or not up on his time, but it's showing his previous time, a 1:22.546, which was only 8 thousandths of Timo Brown on pole. So it really goes to show how close the skill level of these drivers are. And oh yeah, Jurien Visser apparently disconnected for a while, but he's back in the car, so he'll get a bit of running. So we have 9 minutes remaining, and I think a few drivers have not set their lap times at the moment. So yeah, I think they will set their lap times quite shortly. But yeah, John, who would you say is the favorite for a pole going by the last race?
I would say Timo is very strong contender. He did have a very unlucky race last race with that grid penalty, and a lot of the drivers got a very fat grid penalty just because they. I guess there was a a misunderstanding when it came to um, the rules. Is that under a safety car scenario, you cannot go into the pits until once the safety car has been deployed. You can't go into the pits until you have crossed that start finish line, and a lot of the drivers just went straight into the pits as soon as the safety car was deployed. And in some racing in real life, you know that is allowed, but uh, not in our league right now. So it's fine print in the rules, but you have to know your rules in order to do well and race this. Um, so yeah, I definitely don't think they'll be making that mistake again. But Timo was very strong before he got that penalty. So I'm looking at yeah, very strong with Timo. Santo as well. I think he's very close in skill with Timo and Venda Hutting. In our ACC league this past Monday, he was uh, just exchanging first and second place with his teammate during that race, and yeah, he did a very excellent job, and that was during the rain as well. So I think we have a very strong front row of the grid. We might see some interesting things the last 6 or so minutes of qualifying. See any jumping, but I think for the most part, it's settling down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we saw some new times come in though. If we could just stay on the timing sort, yeah, if we just stay on the timing there. I think Olive improved on his lap time, but yeah, I do agree with you that I'd say that Brown and Janto are very competitive, and I'd say Van den Hudding is up there as well. So I think it's going to be a very close field, but you can just see. Um, I'd say almost equal on pace between Brown and Janton. I think Van den Hudding could be thrown into there as well. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Something else about Ruben Vendon Hutting is he's very good at defending too. So if he can qualify, up on the front of the grid, he's got a pretty good chance at keeping that position as long as he doesn't make any silly mistakes. He's got a good defender.
yeah. Well, then I guess starting from the top will just amplify that more for him. Greater chances at winning the race, obviously, considering that you don't get overtaken. Timo Brown has improved on his lap time, so he goes into the 1 minute four. He does a 1 minute 22.418. So he's gone about a tenth faster now, a bit over a tenth faster. As there is Sam Chumley going up into P4, a 123.4. So actually a surprisingly big gap between second and third. It's almost a second. It's about 9 tenths, but yeah, I expected that gap to be smaller. But yeah, I think it's just showing a difference in practice. Some drivers have trained for this for quite a while, and some less than others. As we have had leg laps at a time, as well as there was David Grundström improving on his lap time as well, but not enough to bring him out of P10 at the moment. And yeah, leg lap did set a lap time, and I think if my suspicions were correct, I do think we were supposed to have 17 drivers, but we've only had 11 people set a lap time, as Christian Stricker improves up into P5. But yeah, I think there is McCormack going into P10, so I think people are starting to set lap times. As you said, John, it is quite calm at the moment, but I think that might change as we are approaching the closing stage of qualifying now with about 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and Timo trying to get another qualifying lap in, locking up his front tires coming in on the first turn. So I don't think he's gonna be able to prove this time. But I mean, at the moment, it's pretty comfortable. Even though Shanto is at this point only a tenth off. Leg lap coming in at P3, jumping way up, and wow, yeah. And you're right. There is quite a distinction between P1 and 2, and kind of the rest of the grid. The rest of the grid's very close together. P1 and 2 are kind of a second off, actually a little bit more. Well, actually, no, my bad, a little less, but they're still. I mean, it's a very close grid overall, but P1 and 2 are just that hair faster. I don't know if they've learned, maybe one turn how to brake a slightly bit better or something like that. But yeah, it does go to show that practice and practice and practice and practice and experience with the sport. Um, Definitely good for setting quality laps. Although I will say, when it comes to the race itself, I think, and I said this for Monday's race, when it comes to quali shows kind of your pure skill as a race car driver to see how fast you are. It's just about your quickness. But when it comes to the race itself, uh, this race being 45 laps, that is more about how in tune you are with the car and how consistent you are. If you qualify P6 but you are just much more consistent than the people in front of you, then you're inevitably going to catch up with them and improve.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there. Quali, obviously, it's just trying to set lap times, improving. So yeah, it's probably the biggest test of one's skill. But a race is, I'd say, almost completely different. Because there's so much unpredictability that can happen in races. I mean, anything could work for you, and at the same time, anything can go wrong. As Patrick Shelvasi goes up into P3. But yeah, I'd say, and it's make or break in the race. Honestly, it could like anything could happen, and it's just a test of your awareness and your overall pace and just your racecraft and everything. So it tests a lot of things. So qualifying and race are two completely different beasts. But now with 1 minute remaining in qualifying, I think that is Brown, Shilivasi, and Van den Hudding are all in the pit lane, so they will not be able to set another lap time as Julian Visser Top Silvasi goes up into P3. But Brown has looked massively unchallenged up there. John, do you think that anyone will be able to challenge him?
Yeah, I think the contender who would either be Shanto or Visser, but Shanto has not been improving this lap. He's actually about a tenth off, and so watching him cross, I don't think he's not gonna be able to improve this lap. But
well, he did actually improve, but he is
oh, I'm sorry,
200.
improve it. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you meant that he was gonna top the pole time, but yeah, whatever. As here is Julian Visser on a lap time as well. We're gonna see his sector 1 time. Yeah, we've just received a message from the broadcaster. No, not yet. Yeah, but Julian Visser, we're gonna see his lap time actually as he approaches the final 2 corners. Now around the final corner, Ingve, as it's called. We're gonna see if it will be any improvement for Visser. It's gonna cross the line, and yes, no, yeah, when the lights go out. So no improvement from Visser, but I do think that will be Timo Brown on pole as David Grundström crosses the line. It's an improvement for him, but not enough to bring him out of last place. Grundström, obviously the reserve. I think this is his first race in the AC league at the moment, so that is the end of his qualifying for now. Gasper Medved on a lap time, 1.2 seconds off the pole time, but I think it is an improvement on his lap time. I'm not really sure, but we're gonna see. Oh,
Oh,
okay, and he has been sent to the Shadow Realm. But yeah, that is qualifying over, and it is Timo Brown on pole position. So, John, your thoughts?
yeah, I don't think this came out of the blue for anybody who is familiar with these drivers. I think Timo's a very very strong driver. I completely expected him to get a very good grid position. Shanto as well, and Visser I could have seen too. I think this is going to be a very very I kind of predict a very respectful first lap. Possibly in the midfield or the rear, we might see some knocking about, but for the most part, these are pretty respectful drivers in the front as well. Um, and that's where most of the stuff kind of tidal waves. So I think we'll see a pretty good first lap.
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, yeah, it's a very quick drivers up there in the top five. Brown, Shanto, Visser, Silvasi, and Leglaf. They're all very quick. Van Hooding and Chomney Stricker. I mean, everyone in the top 10. I mean, almost everyone in this league. They're all very quick. But yeah, I think we will see some respectful racing on lap one. So we got a 45 lap race. First lap is spent under safety car as we are doing a rolling start.
Mhm.
So yeah, everyone has lined up on the grid to commentator cars there as well and the safety car. So we're gonna get on our way for the formation lap a bit soon, but we're just gonna wait. So yeah, I guess the big question is who will lead after lap one? Will it be Brown or Shanto or someone else?
Definitely. Well, Shanto does have the ideal line. If Brown can get a better start than Shanto, then he might be able to come over to the right. We do have quite a decent straight in front of them, so you do have the kink, but that's really just part of the straight. As soon as they get to Crawthorne, it's not a tight corner, so you will. It's possible to see people going side by side through that corner, and I think that's 100% possible. But I do see, Timo and Shanto. Uh, whoever gets the better start is going to is kind of very very important here because of that long straight.
Well, now that we're on the topic of starts, one very big advantage Brown has with pole is that after the safety cars come into the pit lane, he leads the field. He calls the shots. He says he's able to direct whenever he goes. That is when the green flag waves. So Shanto in P2 is just gonna have to react to when
That is true.
Brown goes. So yeah, Brown obviously has the advantage there, but yeah, we're gonna see. It's just a matter of time, I guess. As you said, Crowthorne is a very good overtaking opportunity. But
Definitely.
yeah,
If you can dominate the line and if you can defend well, then yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. Um,
yeah,
yeah, something else is just how AC works is very interesting. Is the safety car right now is in the back along with the commentator cars, but we'll see the safety car come in the middle and overtake everybody before the start of the rolling out lap.
yeah. The safety car is just gonna drive to the front.
does look like
And
we have another minute and a half or so.
yeah, but yeah, this circuit has quite a lot of overtaking opportunities, despite the fact that no single seater has raced here for over 30 years. But it fits well to these Indy cars. There's been a lot of overtaking opportunities here. Obviously, Crowthorne, as we discussed earlier. Then the last corner, I'd say turn 8 and turn 9, the S's, if you're brave enough.
Hmm.
Little Cop, turn 10, a very good overtaking spot there. But yeah, it's a very fast, it's very flowing, reminiscent of Interlagos, as you said previously. Um,
Yeah,
but
I very much compare this to Interlagos, and it's also it's wide. Just so that itself applies for the very interesting racing. Narrow tracks are usually not very easy to overtake, but wide tracks you do have a lot of room to work with. So seeing a wide track, it's nice. It's very nice. I'm surprised that this track doesn't do more with stuff like single seaters and stuff like that.
yeah, definitely we should see. Hopefully, we will see a return of the Formula One or any single seater series. So now, yeah, the commentators' cars will just pull into the pit lane, and the safety car is gonna pull out to the front, and then the out lap of this Grand Prix will begin. The safety car will lead everyone in that BMW M8, which is followed by Timo Brown there. So everyone just tweeting about to get their tires heated and ready. Obviously, with this slow speed, well, it isn't slow speed for the safety car. The safety car driver is giving it the absolute limit, but it will feel slow for the guys in the car, obviously. But yeah, it's slow speeds for the drivers, so they have to weave about to get temperature in those tires, so that yeah, obviously they'll get more grip, which ensures a better start. So yeah, this will be a very interesting race. Definitely, I am looking forward to it.
Definitely. And yeah, like you were saying, weaving with those tires, I'm curious to see. So we do have at least one person on the um, starting on the primaries, and yeah, that getting heat into those tires
Yeah.
is super important for the primaries because since they're a tougher um, compound, they're going to be harder to get warmed up.
I think you can check actually if what tires are on a starting. I think
You know what? Yeah, I think
Rod,
you're right.
yeah, I think it's tires. Everyone, yeah, it's a mix. Brown and Janto, everyone in the top four is on alternates. Vanten Hudding um, and a few others at the back are. But now, as the safety car comes in, we're gonna see this now. So it's gonna be Timo Brown that leads the field. The safety car has come in through the final corner. And we're gonna see, as we are now racing here at Kyalami, it's green flag, and Brown leads the field from Janto and Pito, but Janto is very close. He's gonna pull to the outside into Crowthorne. They go, and I think Janto and Brown are actually side by side. There's Slashinsky on the outside of Christian Stricker. There's Leglaff as well, as Vanten Hooding's trying to get past him on the outside, but it's Brown. He's been able to hold off Janto for P2, Urian Vissers P3, Patrick Shilvasi in P4, and Leglaf in P5. I think, yeah, Chomney's off to a good start. He's up into P6 now.
Yeah, Van
Oh,
Hooding down to P7.
yeah, it's not been a good start for him. Neither has been for Patrick Shilvasi, down to P8 now. And I think Christian Stricker is down in P9 as well. As there is Antoine Olivet, actually, I think, under pressure from Forrest McCormack as they go through the mineshaft corner now. It's going to be McCormack on the inside now. As yes, it is inside, but that's gonna turn into the outside now. So head through the crocodiles, as the corner is called. But I think Oliver McCormack is through, but Oliver caught a bit napping there. That's gonna allow Junström to actually try the move as Shanto in P2 now. Yuri and Visser very, very close to him. So I think, and yes, Visser has set the fastest lap. Now coming into lap 2, Visser's gonna get the slipstream. Can he make the move on Shanto? I don't think he's far too close enough. But yeah, Janto is very close. I think, John, it could be anyone's game here for the lead.
Definitely, and you can see Shanto has been side by side more than once during this past lap and a half, and there's even been some wheel banging. Um, Not as much during these fast corners because they really have to, maximize their uh, racing line, so they don't usually go side by side. There, we do have an off. Sivaldi did go off a little bit. That cost him one position with Leglaf.
Yeah, I think Shilvasi was just kind of reacting to what happened up front and just kind of went in too deep, I guess. But oh, there is someone off, and that is actually Leglaf. So Shilvasi regains that position, and Leglaf has lost a lot of positions. He's just been overtaken by Chumley in P6. So that's him down to P7. But he's actually going to try to challenge Chumley through the crocodiles they go now. And yeah, he's back up into P6 at the moment. And
Yeah, he's gonna
Chumley,
make it stick. I think because Chumley has some pressure from behind as well.
yeah, you can see just how close everyone is. There's Jaslinsky, and oh, and he's actually been spun around, so he's facing the wrong way now. Um, Mikolai Jaslinsky, but he comes back at P14. I think there was contact between him and Stricker, but I can't be sure. As there is Forrest McCormack trying to get past Bonkster, and oh, there's a car stuck, and there's
Oh,
Christian
there's a
Stricker.
massive. Wow, there's massive amounts of crashing. There's right in the back. I think there was probably 4, possibly 5 race cars that were involved with that, and they were just safety car has been deployed.
Safety car is, I think, yeah, Medved spun at that corner, and then I think everyone just tried to react to that, and Stricker got tagged in it, and that just kind of formed a bit of a roadblock. But yeah, I think that's gonna leave a few cars with damage, surely. But now the safety car has been called out. Obviously, that will neutralize all leads. So there are some quite big gaps. I can see Leglaf is about 3 seconds to Fountain Hooding, which will be obviously reduced to only a few tenths now as the safety car is out. Everyone obviously has to respect the delta and follow the safety car that will be, I think, out this lap, I believe. As yeah, yellow flags are out at least, so there will be no overtaking. But yeah, no safety cars. But I think, well, has it come out yet? That is the.
Safety car is out. I think he was just stopped waiting for the lead,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
has come with the lead.
And yeah, here is the safety car. Um, BMW M8 safety car in our own safety car livery made by the wonderful people in the 2S community.
That is
As
a wonderful looking car.
yeah, definitely. As yeah, now obviously with lowered speed once again, everyone is gonna have to weave about to get some heat into those tires. So we'll see a lot of weaving, and yeah, it is unknown for how long the safety car will last. I don't think we have any message if the safety car will come in or not. I'm not really sure. Oh,
So the way that
there's
oh,
Jaslinsky, and he's gone off somewhere. So he has been doing safety car, which is quite strange. But yeah, nonetheless, he is back out on track. But
he's also sponsored by Fanatec apparently.
yeah, he is in that. Yeah, he's in that BMW livery. Great looking car. I think it. I think Timo Brown was supposed to run it, but he's running the McLaren Golfer livery. Equally a brilliantly
Very,
designed livery.
very nice livery. Yes. Um, and yes, when it comes to safety cars, when you're not involved with whatever incident brought the safety car out, the safety car could either be a very good thing or a very bad thing for you. Uh, so the way that the safety car works is we get um, there's a notification. We get a safety car notification, and then we also get a notification when the safety car is coming in. Christian Stricker has a drive-through penalty for speeding. Stricker
Oh.
is in the pit, so I guess he came in too hot, wasn't able to brake in time. So that is very unfortunate for Christian Stricker. Something about the safety car. Um, so something I mentioned earlier is if you want to take advantage of the safety car in order to pit, you have to cross the start finish line at least once before you come in while the safety car is out. Another thing is people who aren't involved with the incident that brought the safety car out can actually take advantage of a safety car. So not as much this early in the race, but if you are um, more in the middle of a race during the pit window, safety car is a great way to minimize uh, loss to your position in time by going into the pits during that safety car. And it's actually kind of detrimental to the leader the later the race you go, because you lose that gap that you've gained throughout the whole race when you get a safety car, because it's basically just like starting the race, having another race start, because everyone's right next to each other. So I mean, you sometimes you see a safety car followed by another safety car. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. The racing will
So
resume.
I think our broadcaster on Discord doesn't seem to have the safety car notification or the real penalty. So if you could just turn that on, please. Just a message to the broadcaster. Um, on the on the right, you have to select your apps, and then you turn on real penalty if it should be on. I think.
So the lead car has the pace, and we are back to racing. Green flags, green flags.
Yeah, we're gonna
Coming
see now.
in.
Now into turn one, and already Janto's gonna challenge on the inside. Jurien Visser is gonna try to get Silvase, but I think yes, there is Liva Janto on the inside now, and he has taken the lead of this race in Kyalami. And I think Brown just kind of was compromised there, but is he
What
gonna
an
come back at
incredible
Janto
move.
now? Definitely, really good move from him. But Brown is gonna come back at him on the outside. Will he have the traction now to retake the lead? He's gonna be on the inside now, coming into turn 7. This is Clubhouse, and Brown retakes the lead, but will it be for long as they head through the S's now? And through turn 10, it's going to be a hard braking. So I think Brown has built up the gap big enough to hold that lead for now. As there's Jurien
Oh,
Visser, and Jurien
someone's
Visser's
off.
off. That is Jurien Visser, and he rejoins in P8, and that's down to P9 now. And that is very unfortunate for Visser as he goes from P3 to P9. But what a hectic safety car restart that was.
That was incredible. I mean, Shanto came and he just closed the door on Braun after that first turn. That was quite a move. I mean, if I was Braun, I don't know, I'd be quite upset, but I would also be kind of impressed. And that was he not only overtook, but he also just prevented him from being able to have an opportunity to come back at him. I thought that was quite an incredible move. And they just stayed side by side during,
It's now,
I think that was almost half a lap.
yeah, apologies for bringing you in, but apologies. Oh, and that is Jasper Medved, and he's actually had a bit of an oversteer moment, and he's been forced to park the car there for a bit. He tried to move on Bonkster into Crowthorne, but yeah, he just got I think tad bit too much on the throttle, and yeah, he had to brake there in order to prevent a spin. But that's seen Medved go from P10 to P14, unfortunately, as yeah, it
Yeah,
was unfortunate.
when you go off like that, you really have to. It's frustrating, but you have to make sure you wait for a safe way to enter the track. And sometimes, especially when it's this close to a start, sometimes that means letting the entire grid pass you.
Yeah, I think the last thing you'd like is to be penalized for an unsafe re-entry. Obviously, unsafe re-entries, it's not only a risk to you, but it's risk to everyone else who is behind you. So yeah, the right thing is to just let everyone buy and re-enter safely. But now I think we see a battle for P7 brewing. McCormack and Visser. Visser's going to want to reclaim that as they're side by side now through the kink. But I think Visser's going to have this as he's on the inside. Breaks later than McCormack. And yes, he is through. But he has gone a bit deep there. But
Yeah,
no, he is up into P7 for the time being.
I think McCormack braked just a bit earlier than usual. I think he was trying to prioritize his exit in that turn in order to try and get back at him.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think it was there as well. But Visser, luckily for him, the gaps are everyone is not too far spread out. So he's got Sam Chumley in P6, just 3 tenths ahead. As here's Leglaff. He's gonna try to get past Vantan Hudding, but I think yeah, that just kind of wasn't where you try and overtake. As now we go through turn 12, mine shafts. Right on board with Leglaff. Oh, I think a bit of a snap of oversteer there from Leglaff. He just had to correct it and he's lost time to Van Hunting. But there is Sam Chumley getting overtaken by Visser, and he's been overtaken by McCormack as well. So Chumley's made a mistake at turn 15 as Levi Janton has the fastest lap. So I think the battle for the lead is far from over.
Leglaff is right on the tail of was it Venda Hudding, I think.
Oh, and
Poked to the
yeah,
outside line didn't really help him so much during that turn. Medved has retired from this race.
I think there's been a crash. I think in P13 Grundvall has had some form of accident, or Grundvall, sorry, Grundström. I think he had a bit of a yeah touch with the barriers at turn 5, but he's back racing. Although there's quite a big gap to P12 that Grundström has to clear. As yeah, Leglav is just all over the back of Van den Hudding there, and I think Leglav has to be patient here and just wait for the perfect time to strike as they head through turns 10 and 11 now. But yeah, I think he just has to maximize his exit for turn 16 and then just hope to get the overspeed on him into Crowthorne.
Yeah, there are a few neck and neck fights right now. We see also McCormick and Chumley. Just Chumley is breathing down McCormick's neck, and yeah, Grunstrom's gonna have quite a difficult time. He's got to keep up his consistency if he's going to catch up with the rest of the pack.
Yeah, yeah, Grunström's gonna have a lot to do, but yeah, Brown has actually managed to build up a bit of a gap to Janto now, as Leglaff is still, I think, chasing down Van den Hudding, but the gap seems to have increased to what I think is 3 tenths now. Or no, sorry, that's 2 tenths. But you can see he's under pressure from Yuri and Visser, and Visser is actually doing quite a good job reclaiming his positions as they head through the S's now. So this is a 3-way fight for P4 now, as Bonkster has been overtaken by oh, I forget his surname. Schlasinski in P9 now. As Leglaff, I think he tried to look for a move there, but he's been compromised on exit into turn 15 now.
Oh,
As
he's
actually
going into the
goes to the pit lane. Oh, and actually had a bit of a moment there into the pit
yeah. I
lane.
think he bumped into the barrier, and that just caused him to shoot into the other side as well.
And now on to the last corner. And Anton. Oh, and that is a very, very big crash for Bonkster into the final corner. And he was actually airborne there for a while. But he's been managed to get back onto track. As here's Christian Stricker getting past Anton Olivet. I was just going to mention that Olivet had a bit of a bad exit from turn 16, but I think yeah, Stricker has been able to get ahead of him as Leglaf has disconnected from the server, which is very very strange.
Yeah, I
But
don't know if these are retirements or if it's a connection issue.
um, yeah, a shame to see it end like that. At least for Leglaf, he's doing quite well, but the battle for P2 goes from 3 to P2, sorry, P4. My apologies. Goes from 3 drivers to now 2. So yeah, Visser versus Van den Hudding for P4. This is going to be a very very interesting fight. Two very very skilled drivers battling it out for P4 as Levi Janton has a fast lap coming into what I think is lap 13 of 45.
So yeah, the way that I think it it's lap 12 of the actual race because of the outlap. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah 12 of 45. You just I think take one away from each.
Okay. Yeah. But I think Jantos made a mistake somewhere. 3.2 seconds is the gap to Brown now. So I
Yeah,
think
when you're holding that close to someone in front and there's so much pressure, you know, it takes a lot mentally away from you. So I think um, I don't blame him for making a mistake, but I mean a mistake is a mistake. If you're trying to get up to P1, then you know you can't be making those mistakes.
yeah, the higher you are, the more pressure it is, honestly. Especially for leading. I mean, it's make or break basically. And then for P2, trying to chase down the lead, trying to hold that consistent gap, it's hard. It's very very hard. And making a mistake is yeah, it's not very rare to see. But I think yeah, Levi's quick, so I think he'll be able to catch up to Timo. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. As I think Van den Hudding has actually opened the gap to Visser a bit. So I think Visser has fallen back. As we're gonna see as they head through turn 5, barbecue as it's called. Um, Now on to turn 6, and um, I think yeah, Van den Hudding, yeah, Visser is actually closing in on him here, but I think it was just a bit slow through sector 1 as they head through the S's now on board with Visser actually. As they head into turn 10, Leeuwkop, as it's called. Forgive my Dutch pronunciation. And there's a bit of an oversteer moment for Visser actually. That's gonna lose him a bit of time. Um, to Van den Hudding ahead, but not by a lot. Now on to turn 14 and turn 15. Or no, sorry, this is turn 15. Yeah, and last corner. Now he just wants to maximize his exit here. To try and gain the most time on Van den Hudding. I think there was a bit of a stutter there for Van den Hudding in P4. I think Visser is gaining on him, but not enough to make a move. And yeah, my suspicions have been confirmed. But no, actually, it might be, since I think Van den Hudding made a
Oh,
mistake. And yeah, he goes over the curb there to prove my suspicions correct. And we're gonna see now as they head into turn 6 sunset. Visser's gonna be on the outside. It's not enough for a move yet as we go on board with Yurian now. Into turn 7 clubhouse. He breaks later and he has the outside line, but oh, he's been
oh,
forced wide. And luckily he holds that. But that's his Van den Hudding keeping P4 for now.
yeah. I think as long as he can get a uh, good exit out of the turn before.
Oh, and that's Sam Chumley, who's gone off the track in an attempt to overtake McCormack. But yeah, continue.
Also, I just got notification Bonkster has a drive-through penalty, which is, I mean, honestly, just salt in the wound right now because He's 49 seconds behind Grunstrom.
Oh. Yeah, well, this is certainly going to be a race to forget for Bonkster. That must be said.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the broadcaster has forgotten to enable the real penalty app. So if I could just request the broadcaster to do that as well. If you could, yeah, just go up there and enable everything, I think, except... Yeah, there we go. Or no, now it's a bit weird. I think you have to turn off... yeah, now we're doing a bit of... so turn off warning, I think. And turn off the settings as well. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but yeah, I think turn off admin as well. Or no, that's off already. And turn off Helicourse, I think. And yeah, that should be it. I think...
yeah, we see Visser trying to pull out several times, making attempts, but he can never get any of them to stick so far. But he's making it a point to take different lines than Venda Hutting.
Yeah, Visser is just trying everything in the book to try and overtake Van den Heuvel, and he's actually going to try it now into turn 13. But yeah, I was just a bit too far away. And I think there's the cut warning message in the middle. I think if you could just pull that down to the bottom broadcaster. But yeah, we won't focus on that too much, just as long as we get it out of the way, since it is a bit distracting. No, just pull it down to the bottom.
And Schlesinsky is also a drive-through penalty for speeding. So I guess they're just giving them out left and right. So yeah, so something these, and he has taken it. That's interesting. So I guess he was given it and he took it immediately. Something that needs to be done when these drivers are pitting is they need to slow down before they get to that pit line, because Assetto Corsa does have like an auto pit limiter, but it's kind of like cheating because you can just barrel in and then it'll lock up your tires and slow you down. And we also Schlesinsky actually just disconnected from the server, so yeah, whether that was intentional or not, we have 3 retirements for this race so far.
Yeah, but we're now going to see Visser actually trying to move into the same corner he tried a lap ago, but it's not going to work. You got a bit of overspeed there on Van den Heuvel, but don't think he's going to be tried it again. Yeah, Van den Heuvel goes defensive. As you said, that defense that he's known for coming into play now. But we're going to see if we can go on board with the Visser as Brown is into the pit lane. So he's coming for his pit stop. But yeah, that means Janto leads. And here's Christian Stricker, who is coming into the pit lane as well. So yeah, you gotta be very careful not to get not to speed too much there, as Visser still chasing down Van den Heuvel for what is now P3. But and there's Van den Heuvel, and he's off, and he spins round, and he's now facing the wrong way. And that is really unfortunate for Van den Heuvel, as he was running a brilliant P4 and is now down to what is going to be P6, as he's actually battling with Chumley now for that P6. He's now down to P7. And
props to Visser as well, because it's kind of those mental games that are being played. If you just stick as far as you can into the rear and just put that pressure on the driver and just wait for a mistake. When Venda Hutting made that mistake, Visser was able to capitalize on it, and Shanto is also into the pits as well. But yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate for Venda Hutting, but that is ideal for Visser, who is now in a temporary P1. So he's technically, without looking at the pits, he is leading the race. But of course, when he has to pit, it won't stay that way.
Yeah, I think Shanto and Silvasi now in as well. Where's Brown? He's emerged ahead of Janto actually. and by about 3 seconds, Gilvasi has retired in the pit lane. So that is very strange. That brings the fourth retirement of this session. But yeah, Brown has exited ahead of Janto by about a second more than what it used to be. So I think the undercut, if you could call it an undercut, uh, has proven effective for Brown. As here is Chumley trying to chase down McCormack. These two have been battling out for all this. There's Van den Hooding as well in P4, which or a provisional P4 that is, because they haven't pitted yet. So yeah, I think everyone will come into the pit lane in a bit. As yeah, here we see Sam Chumley trying to chase down McCormack as they cross the start finish straight to initiate lap 19 out of 45. And yeah, I don't think he is quite far away to try and move at the moment. But yeah, there is Bonkster actually, and he is into the wall at the exit of turn 5.
Oh
And
boy, yeah, that
I
can't be
think,
good for his car. Oh yeah,
oh, and he's, yeah,
I think his controls, his suspension, and alignment are probably way off at this point. Very unfortunate race for Bonkster. I just hope he doesn't get in the way of the people who have to overtake him. That was relatively close from my viewing angle. Another thing is the drivers. In case our viewers were wondering, the drivers are required to pit, and even if they weren't, they would not last the race because the fuel tanks on these cars are not very big, so they have to pit. They depending on the amount of laps, they could do one stops, but for the most part, we'll see two stops. I think.
yeah, strategy is going to play an essential part. Obviously, if we compare to other series like Formula One, there's things like refueling in here as well, so that means pit stops will take longer, and other things as well. So there's Van den Hooding coming into the pit lane in the background there. But yeah, we're gonna see where he exits as Anton Olivet is coming into the pit lane 2, and Timo Brown is now up into P4, and he has a bit of fear about Bonksters, which is the drive-through for speeding. So yeah, just salt in the wounds for Bonkster really.
Another drive-through for
And
speeding.
and bit of a slide there for Brown, but he has managed to keep it. And yeah, there's been another drive. I think that might be some form of error, but yeah, Chumley has now actually closed the gap to McCormack. As I said, these two have been dueling it the entire race almost. As yeah, we are almost approaching half distance now. As Chumley is now trying to close down to McCormack for P2. Bonkster has DNF'd, so he's out of the session. That leaves 9 cars remaining in this race. So Visser has come into the pit lane now.
Apparently, Bonkster has another drive-through for speeding, even though he's not in the race anymore.
And
McCormack and Chumley have entered the pits.
yeah, so all 3 cars, yeah, the top 3, or the provisional top 3, enter the pit lane now. And I think, yeah, here comes Timo Brown and retakes the lead of this race here at Kyalami. Shanto's gonna come into P2, and Visser is back up into P3. So yeah, as Forrest McCormack has taken his drive through, but yeah, um, it was quite a well judged call and very well driven by Visser to bring him back up into those podium places. And Van den Hooding is up into P4 as well.
Yeah, most everyone's out of the pits at this point, except for McCormick. Yeah, the gaps right now are very, they've spread out a lot more. I think those pit stops and the DNFs have really kind of shaken things up. So we have Timo Braun in the lead
I think
with
there's actually a
Shanto.
move in P6 there. I think Oliver got overtaken by Grundström there for P6, but yeah, I didn't quite catch it on camera. So
Yeah, and it looks like we'll see a little bit more battling with them as well because they are still neck and neck. I mean, Olive is tucked up right behind Grundstrom.
yeah, we're gonna see if oh, and there's Levi Jantos and actually spun it.
And he's also
He's
entering the pits.
I think he maybe has a drive-through or something. I'm not really sure, but either way, that'll mean Santos lost time, and
Yeah,
that's gonna see Visser up into P2 and Van den Hudding up into P3 for now.
that's gonna bring Shanto down a lot.
It definitely is.
Oh,
As
and he's disconnected from the server.
oh, and that is gonna be a massive change, and I think that might just signal for Timo Braun, but you can't give the victory this early. Obviously, we don't know what can or will happen.
Yeah,
As Olive is now chasing down Grundström for P5, but I don't. He's not close enough to make a move just yet. As I think there was a bit of a slide there for him, which he had to correct. That means he's gonna lose even more time to the Swede up ahead. But yeah, there are still, as you said, the field is now much more spread out than what it used to be. So I think battles will be a bit of a rare occurrence, especially considering now that we have such few cars running. So I think strategy is probably the most important thing in this race now.
definitely strategy and um, consistency. Possibly not as much, but still, if you know, a, make a big mistake here, or even when looking at Olive or Grunstrom, a small mistake that could mean a lot.
Yeah, it definitely could. Well, either way, we'll just have to wait and see on what happens. And I think the something is wrong with the pit lane or something. I think some of the drivers are reporting it, and yeah, um, we have just received confirmation that the results from this race will not count. So I think it's some issues with the pit lane not registering their car. So I don't think some drivers are able to. Some drivers aren't able to pit for new tires. So yeah, I think we'll either
Ah,
do no results or a rollback of the results, which is quite disappointing. But well, I think it's probably the smartest choice to do with something like this. But we will carry on and commentate the rest of the race. So yeah, not a lot of battles. You can see Grunwald is 17 seconds to Chumley in P4. But yeah, Olive is actually closing in on. Sorry, I keep saying Grunwald. I don't know Grunström in P5. I apologize to him, but yeah, he is closing in uh, on Grunström, Olive.
and Stricker is he's 2.6 seconds behind, but I mean, when it comes to half the race, he still also has potential to come in and make a mess of things between the two of those guys.
Yeah, I definitely think he could do that in some later stages of the race. Obviously, with these two dueling, um, Antoine is going to lose time behind Grunstein. Oh, and there's a bit of a slide for him. And he's actually almost facing the wrong way, but he's barely kept it. Yes, there goes.
Stricker.
Yeah, there goes Stricker up into P6. And I think Grunström's going to hold at P5 unless.
Oh, and Stricker
Oh!
spun, hit the wall, and he almost hit Olive. Olive had to go off to avoid him a little bit, but wow, that was very interesting. I don't know what happened there. It just looked like he got massive oversteer. He has damage to his car as well.
Yeah, I think just too much throttle application, it looked like. I don't really know much about how these cars work and how they handle, but it looked like, yeah, I just got on the throttle a bit too much, and that sent him into the barriers. But unfortunate for Stricker there. That's going to see him down to P7 and quite a long way back. Olive, and same goes for Olive as well. He's now 6 from what I got. There used to be 0.5, which is now 5.7 to Grundström in P5. But yeah, that is really good news for Grundström as well.
Yeah, Olive he had not only had to swerve to avoid Stricker, I'm sure he had to lift or possibly brake in order to avoid him. So yeah, that was a little bit of a mess there. Very unfortunate for Stricker. Yeah, these cars can be very twitchy at times, and you really do need to have a good amount of practice under your belt in order to know, what the car is going to do and how to, like, what to expect. Stricker is in the pits, understandably, with possibly damage repair. I just hope he doesn't get that error that has been going on with the other drivers.
Yeah, hopefully it should work because I don't think we want to see any more DNFs this race.
Yeah, definitely not.
But yeah, now as we approach lap 27 of 46, sorry, lap 26 of 45, Timo Brown leads this race by a comfortable 12 seconds from Jurien Visser as he's actually approaching. He's lapped McCormack. No, I think he's lapping Stricker actually. As yeah, he is. So blue flags will be shown for Christian Stricker as Timo Brown is approaching. We're gonna see, and
And there he goes, lets him Timo pass.
yeah. So yeah, not holding him up too much. Not like it would have mattered anyway for Timo if it got held up a bit. But yeah, he is leading by a very, very big margin. So I think had he been stuck behind Chris there, I think it wouldn't even have mattered. But yeah, that sees one more car cleared by Brown. But if we could just check actually on what tires everyone are, I'd like to see that. Everyone's done a one stop. Stricker's been in 3 times. So top 5 on primaries. And
Looks
then
everyone else is either on alternates except for Schlesinski, which is he's DNF'd.
yeah. So top 5 is on primaries, and all the way Stricker and McCormack on alternate tires. So they've all done around 25, 6. Yeah, they've all done around the same distance on those tires. But could we check the pit stops as well? Because I think everyone's done around 1 or 2 stops. I think 1 should be the normal thing. You can see, yeah, everyone's done 1 stop except poor Stricker. He's done 3. Um, accounting for those drive-through penalties as well. It's really not benefited him. So yeah, the
It's
drive-through.
impressive that he's not last. We
Yeah,
still have
actually.
McCormick behind him.
Yeah, I'd expect someone with 3 stops to be last, but yeah, he isn't, which is quite good for him. But yeah, Stricker and McCormack have been lapped, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna see any position changes in the near laps. Or what do you think, John?
Yeah, looking at the timing, I mean, you have plus 12 seconds, plus 9, plus 6, plus 21, plus 4, plus 1 lap. It's plus 32 for Stricker and Olive. It's very comfortable cushions between people. I think, to be honest, for the rest of the race, I think it's going to be a rather tame race unless we have a safety car to bunch things up again. That would kind of shake it up, make it a little interesting. But of course, I'm not not asking for a safety car from anyone because that would mean someone's off or in the wall or something like that. But yeah, definitely a lot of cushioning between the drivers right now, especially with not as many cars, actually half as many cars on track right now. Then yeah.
Yeah, it is quite a small field that is running at the moment. Only 8 cars. But Chomley and Grundström is into the pit lane now. So Yeah, we'll see where they enter. But Olive is up into P4, and Chumley has come out
Who's
in
Stricker's
P5.
off. It looks like he touched a bit of the grass going on the entry of a turn, and he just kind of kept going straight a little bit. But he's back into his back into the mojo.
Yeah, Stricker has been struggling quite a lot. It looks like so. He is. It's not really been the greatest race for him. Yeah, I think he'll just be wanting to move on to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's um, can be echoed throughout a lot of these drivers. I mean, DN, all the DNFs, McCormick, just a lot of people having some very unfortunate things happen to them. But I will say, when it comes to these drivers, going off, having spins, understeer, oversteer, or whatever, it's impressive to see how quick they can get level-headed and get back in the race. You see a lot of people going off and then re-entering. Christian Stricker has a drive-through penalty for cutting. I don't know where he got that. Oh, cutting. Okay, I thought I don't know why I processed that as speeding, but yeah, watching him, I think he's not in control. He's very much struggling with his car. Something is definitely wrong with his car, because it's like kind of like he's steering in the dark right now. To be honest, he's going off, slowing down. So I think he's got some sort of mechanical damage with his car.
Yeah, and I think with the pit lane being bugged, I don't know if Stricker can fix that damage, and I don't think he has. I don't think he can afford to do another pit stop, as he has done 3 stops in this race now. So yeah, he's quite far behind, but I'd say that he's done quite well for what has happened to him in the race.
Oh, and he spun.
And
Just more
oh,
unfortunate stuff going on with Christian Stricker.
just as I say that, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
it looks like he
Stricker.
gets stopped. I think he might. Yep, he's back into the pits. So that might be race end for him. I think he just kind of realizes that